All right, everybody. Dana White just announced on his Instagram, UFC 290 International Fight Week. What a stacked card that is. I mean, it's always one of the biggest cards of the year, and this one is going to be no different. Headlined, of course, by Alexandre the Great Volkanovski. This man is such a workhorse, but enough from me. Let's hear from the boss man, President Dana White.
What's up, everybody? I am UFC President Dana White. International Fight Week is coming back to Las Vegas on July 8th. At the T-Mobile Arena, and I am happy to announce that we have finally finished the main card. Alexandre Volkanovski and Yair Rodriguez will headline UFC 290 to unify the featherweight belt. Volkanovski is the #2 ranked pound-for-pound fighter in the world and is undefeated as a featherweight in the UFC. And he is facing interim champion and Mexican superstar Yair Rodriguez. Yair is coming off an incredible win back in February when he won the interim title with a submission win over Josh Emmett. The co-main event will feature another...
That is a sensational fight. Listen, we knew that one was coming. It's not exactly a surprise, but it is an amazing fight. Volkanovski just gets better and better. You know, the pound-for-pound #1, even though he lost to Islam Makhachev. But what a fight that was. And on the same night, we had Yair Rodriguez for the interim belt. So we knew that one was coming. And there it is, International Fight Week. There was talks about maybe John Jones. But listen, John Jones is fighting Stipe probably at Madison Square Garden, so I can't wait for that one. But let's have a look at some of the others. I mean, you can see some of them there. There is not one title fight, there's two.
We'll feature another incredible matchup, Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja. Two Mexican champions, plus Australia and Brazil will be represented in our co-headliners for...
Brandon Moreno once again putting the belt on the line. Pantoja on a 3-fight win streak. Submission ace. Always exciting fights. So that's going to be brilliant. And then look at that one. I mean, I'll let Dana do the talking, but Robert Whittaker, Dricus du Plessis. Listen, I'm a fan of both men. I love bloody Robert Whittaker, though. He's just so humble. But anyway, let's hear the boss.
International Fight Week. Also, on UFC 290, Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis, which will determine who will fight Israel Adesanya next for the middleweight title.
Now, we know what's going on there. Israel Adesanya wants to fight Dricus du Plessis. He wants to beat the living crap out of him. Of course, they've got this whole thing going on with the, with the African. Dricus says that he wakes up and breathes African air. Izzy says he's going to beat him so badly. Says he's been very disrespectful. Dricus said, listen, you're not African. You moved to New Zealand. He was born in Nigeria, but still makes it a little bit spicy. But the winner gets to fight Israel Adesanya. Whittaker's fought him twice before. He's lost twice before. First one was a knockout. Second time was a very, very close fight, but Izzy won it, rightly so. But Whittaker is still getting better, and Whittaker is just brimming with confidence. Remember when he beat Marvin Vettori in Paris last year, I said, so right, you're clearly the next best fighter after Israel Adesanya. And he made me eat my words. He's like, no, I am the most dangerous fighter in the middleweight division. So there it is. There's that one. Him versus Dricus du Plessis. Du Plessis is going to have to bring his A game, because I tell you what, listen, du Plessis is great, he's fun, he's exciting, he's wild, but he does gas and he leaves a lot of opening. Whittaker's far more technical, but you never know. Just because you're the better fighter doesn't mean you're going to win the fight. So it is an interesting matchup, and it will be fun because du Plessis brings it every single time. But look at this next fight in the lightweight division.
Plus, Jalen Turner will face Dan Hooker, and Bo Nickal will look to continue his dominance against the Ultimate Fighter standout, Tresean Gore. The prelims...
Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. Obviously, I think that fight was made earlier last year. In December, I think it was, but Jalen Turner ended up fighting Mateusz Gamrot instead. And Jalen gave him a really, really good fight. I thought stylistically it would be a really bad matchup. Yeah, he lost. I think it was a split decision, but Jalen gave a very, very good account of himself. Against Dan Hooker, I mean, come on, that's guaranteed to be a banger. I mean, because they're both extremely tall for the lightweight division. I know Jalen's 6'3", Dan Hooker's something similar, maybe 6'2", 6'3". So two long, lanky kickboxers. There's going to be a good one. I'm excited for that one. And then what was the other one opening up the card? Let's have a look. Oh, Bo Nickal. The return of Bo Nickal taking on Tresean Gore. I mean, Bo Nickal's talked a big game. Bo Nickal's talked about being the future of the middleweight division. And listen, the man's undefeated. He looked sensational on the Contender. In his UFC debut, he made short work of his opponent then. So going up against Tresean Gore, a little bit of a step up. But stylistically, there's not many people in the UFC that are going to match Bo Nickal for takedowns. They're not going to be able to stop the takedowns. And when he gets into the floor, the man's very, very good at jiu-jitsu as well. But let's see if there's anything on the prelim. See what he's saying here.
His dominance against the Ultimate Fighter standout, Tresean Gore. The prelims will be live and free on...
Tresean Gore hits hard. He's a very, very hard-hitting man, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I think Bo Nickal is going to... He's going to have a fun night at the office. Could be wrong, though. Could be wrong.
ABC and ESPN, the network. The featured bout is Robbie Lawler versus Niko Price. Lawler will be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame on Thursday, July 7th, for his fight versus Rory McDonald. Then he fights on Saturday. Robbie is the former UFC and Strikeforce world champion, and this kid is never in a boring fight. I found Robbie Lawler when he was 19 years old, and UFC 290 will be the final fight of his amazing 22-year career.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, Robbie Lawler, the man's been around forever. Let's just have a look at him, because Robbie Lawler, a true legend of the sport, a former welterweight champ, been around the sport just absolutely forever. I mean, it's insane. It really is insane, the record and the amount of fights and the longevity of his career. But if we go down here, I mean, look at this, 29-16. What a week he's going to have, by the way. Get inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame on the Thursday, make weight on the Friday, and then on the Saturday compete at the T-Mobile Arena in his final ever fight. And against Niko Price, listen, he lost to Bryan Barberena, and we see a lot of losses on his record there recently. Dos Anjos, Ben Askren, Covington, Neil Magny, Bryan Barberena beat Nick Diaz. That was a fun fight. I like Niko Price. Niko Price is a cool guy, but wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to see Robbie Lawler go out on a victory? It really bloody would. Sean Brady versus Jack Della Maddalena.
Sean Brady versus Jack Della Maddalena. And the return of former flyweight champion Davison Figueiredo. What's up, everybody?
Wow. Listen, Jack Della Maddalena versus Sean Brady. Listen, Sean Brady, last time out against Bilal Muhammad, got pieced up on the feet. He was undefeated. He lost his record there, his undefeated record. Went up against Bilal Muhammad, couldn't take him down, played out on the feet and got beaten. Listen, he needs to be working his takedowns in this one, because Jack Della Maddalena, he's a future champ, I'm telling you. The boxing on that man is some of the best we can see in the UFC. It really is, and that's not hype. Jack Della Maddalena is potentially the future of the welterweight division, going up against Sean Brady. An interesting clash of styles. Maddalena, the boxer. Sean Brady, the grappler, the jiu-jitsu guy. Listen, Jack needs to work his takedown defense. Jack needs to work his takedown defense, and Brady needs to work those takedowns. Because if he stays on the feet, Maddalena will get yet again another stoppage. But there it is. International Fight Week, UFC 290. Once again, UFC bringing the goods. I'm very happy to say I will be there. I'll be there in town, working the fights, watching the fights, and as always, having a bloody good time. Anyway, that just broke. Thought you might be interested. So there it is. UFC 290 International Fight Week. Going to be another good one. You guys take care. Subscribe. Ring the bell. See you soon.